Hey guys, it's Andrea here with Crafter Support, and welcome to the 13 weeks of Halloween. So today is going to be my first project, and it's going to be a Halloween tree. So this is a super fun and easy craft to make, but it looks super cute. You can use your Cricut to cut out the pieces, or you can use scissors, or you can use a cutting tool. Whatever you have, it can be done on any of the options that you have. So the first thing you're going to need is a triangle rounded, I don't know what it's called, a triangle rounded cone, or you can use cardstock. So that's an option. You'll need scissors, cutting tools, or your cutting machine, a bone folder. This streamer stuff is super cute. That's an option, but I suggest getting that because we're going to be using it throughout the 13 weeks of Halloween. I bought these little skulls at the Dollar Tree. They're super cute. They're going to go on top of the tree. And of course, you're going to need hot glue sticks. Actually, I'm going to say low heat hot glue. I think if it's too hot, you're going to burn your fingers a lot because that's what I did with the low heat one. But I'm going to show you what we're making because it's so cute. So I've made these in the past before. I've made them as tall as 4 foot, and I've made them as small as what was the smallest one I made? Like 4 inches high. But these are super duper cute. Oh, and of course we're going to need paper. I forgot about the paper. You're going to need decorative paper. Now, when I went shopping, they had no Halloween paper out yet. And I was so disappointed. And so I had to use what I had on hand, which is probably a good thing, right? This is paper from Stampin' Up! Years ago, but I wanted to use it because I had it and they didn't have any new stuff at the store. So here's what we're making, guys. How cute is this? So this is like a little tree and it's for Halloween. And I've made these for Christmas. I've made them for Valentine's Day. Here's a fall one that I made, and I absolutely love them. So I've made these with paper, with ribbon, with fabric. But today I'm going to show you the paper way to make it. But then you just use the same concept if you want to use ribbon or fabric or tulle or whatever it is you want to make with it. So we're going to get started. This does take a little while to make. So I think it took me about an hour to completely put it together and quite a bit of hot glue, but they turn out so cute. So here I'm going to show you if you don't have or can't find one of these floral foam pieces, you can make it out of cardstock. So what I suggest is that you take a bone folder, a roller, the corner of your desk, something to manipulate the fibers on your paper. So how you're going to do that is you're just going to rub your paper down and you're going to be like bending it up so that you're breaking down the fiber in the paper, because this will help you be able to curl your square paper into a cone, if that makes sense. So all you're going to do is the first time you're just going to roll it up because you want to make the paper do what you want it to do, because paper is going to do flat. It's just going to lay flat because that's how it's been. It's been a flat piece of paper, and now we want it to be rounded. So we're going to just mess with it. We're going to roll it up, and then we're going to do the same thing again. But this time we're going to do the size we want. So we're going to take the piece pointing closest to us because you're going to hold it at an angle. There's that at an angle again. And you're going to roll the bottom of the cone tightly together. So you're going to roll the part facing you as tight as you can. Then you're going to look at it, see how big you want to make it, and then you're going to decide, okay, I want it to be a little bit wider at the base. So next what you're going to do is hold the top of the cone in your hand, and you're just going to let loose a little bit at the bottom so the bottom gets wider. So basically what you're doing is just giving yourself some room at the bottom, and then you're going to hot glue the top. And that's going to make your cone, basically. So you're just going to hold the hot glue there. If you need to use a tool or something, or if you need your little thumb mitts that we have, and we've shared at Crafter Support, you could use those. I'm like really bad with those, but I did burn myself a lot making this project. So I do recommend that you wear them. I'm just too stubborn to wear them. So the next thing we're going to do is make the base of our cone. So how we're going to do that is cut up, because you can't make the base of a square to be round, right? So we're going to cut up the side just a little bit to give yourself more room with your scissors, and you're going to cut circular. So you're going to cut all the way around to make it as even as you can so it sits flat or close to flat. No one's going to see the bottom anyways, so just do your best and it'll be fine. So here I am cutting, and we're almost to the end. And also, if you don't want a white background, you could paint your foam floral holder, or you could use colored cardstock. So I have one that I want to make, and I wanted the black cardstock behind it, but some of the ones I'm making, I don't mind if it's white. So this one's ready for me to get started on another project that I'm going to be doing, and it's ready to go. So now we can get started. Yes, it is a little bit taller than the white one, but that's okay. I like different sizes. And the ones I had made in the past, like I said, some of them are super big. If I can find any photos of them, I will definitely put them in here. But I've made very large ones and very small ones. So now we're ready to get started. So what we're going to do is we're just going to cut open this floral piece, and we're going to set it aside, and then we need to start cutting our paper. So the one thing I want you to think about whenever you're designing these, are you going to do them all one sheet of paper, like one design? Are you going to do them a solid color? Are you going to rotate colors? Like how you want to do it. So the first thing I'm going to do is pull out the design I want. This design is patterned, so I need to make sure when I cut it, I'm cutting the right direction. So I want to make sure that when I fold my paper, the way I need to fold it, that my bats are going to be going the right way. So that's what's on this paper is bats. So I need to make sure that they're facing the right way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this. I'm going to turn it so that my bats are up and down, and I'm going to cut it at 3 1/4. And then once we cut our 3 1/4 strip, then we're going to turn that paper, and we're going to cut it 1 inch, 1 inch strips. So I'm going to be using the left side of my cutter because the left side of my cutter cuts up to 1.5 inches, I believe. I'm just going to push it over to the 1 inch and keep feeding it back and forth. So I'm just going to slide it to the 1, and I'm going to cut. And this just kind of makes it go a little bit faster. Like I said, this is kind of a time-consuming project, but they turn out so adorable. I had somebody ask me to make them one time, and I was like, I would have to charge you so much. It would just make sense for you to make it yourself, just because of the time that it takes to make. So here are my strips, 3 1/4 by 1 inch, and all you're going to do to make these is fold them over your finger to like make like a loop with them. And then you're going to put hot glue at the top to seal them into that loop. Now this is where it gets hot, and I'll tell you, I did melt my nail polish off, and I did burn my fingers a whole lot of times. There was a lot of ouches. That's why I'm doing a voiceover, because I was not happy with my hot glue gun, but this was so worth doing. I've seen this done with whenever people use ribbon, where they use straight pins to put them in. So that's an option too if you do ribbon or fabric, is to use straight pins, and then it would take so much less time. But we're using hot glue. You could use possibly Tombow glue on the paper to make the loops, but to glue it onto the foam, I'm not sure that would be the easiest option. So again, we're just going to roll it on our finger. And the reason we're doing that is because we don't want it to like break. We don't want it to be a pointy end. We want it to be a rounded end. And you guys know how I feel about glue stick stringies. It drives me crazy, but it's always there. So I'm just showing you the basis to start, and then I'll show you how we build each layer on. So we're going to start at the bottom. And if you see here, there's different numbers of paper in each row. So I'm going to be using multiple colors of paper, and the first row I need to do 8. So depending on the size of your cone or the size that you make your cone is going to determine how many you need on the base of each one. So for starters, I'm going to do I think I do 4 here, and then I do a bunch, and then I don't make you guys watch all that because it would take a long time to video all of the pieces that you have to make. But if you could sit down and just knock out a ton of these, like have all your papers cut on your Cricut, you would just choose your design, which would be a rectangle, and size it at 3 1/4. So it'd be 3.25 by 1, and it would cut everything out for you, and you wouldn't have to waste time cutting. which cutting does take quite a while to make all of this. So now the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hold one piece of paper up and you're going to put the bottom of the paper against the bottom of whatever you're using as your cone, and put your finger there, and that's where you're going to want to put your first piece. So for the first piece, it's kind of a little awkward. You're just going to put a line of glue, and then where my thumb is where I need to have it. And then I'm just going to hold that down. Now this is where those little mitts would come in handy, because I burnt underneath my fingernail and it hurt so bad. I know you guys are like, seriously, you deserve it because you do not use your little mitts, but they do get in my way. But if you have them, use them so you don't get burnt. I don't want any of my friends getting burnt. So now I'm doing the next one, and you just keep doing this in a circle. So there'll be little gaps between your spaces, which is fine because you're putting something straight on something round and tapered. So you will have like little V-shape openings in between your paper, and that's absolutely fine. So you can see a little bit of the white. This is where you can choose beforehand to either paint it or use colored cardstock or whatever. It doesn't really bother me to have the bottom like that, because through the rest of it, it's pretty much covered. You can't see it at all when there is like a little V shape where there's an opening that you see the styrofoam. But again, like I said, you could paint, you could color it with a marker if you don't have paint and you don't want to see the backside. All you'd have to do is take a marker and color behind it. I did paint my Christmas ones that I've made in the past. I painted them, I think, green underneath. Even though I did red, it still turned out really cute because it was like red and white pattern paper on a green background. So they turn out super cute. So that's an option as well. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to show you do the same thing if you're using the cone that you make, is you just lay them down and keep going in the circle. And like I said, the bottom of this one took a total of 8, and that was like being, a little bit tight at the bottom, but I squeezed them all in because I wanted to fill up as much as I could. So once I get this one done, I believe that I like kind of jump off and I do then go to the next row. So this is where I'll show you how to layer them so that you can't really see the underneath the white or anything like that. But you may like the look of the white underneath. It's whatever you like to do. So yeah, there, I burnt my finger again. And the glue strings were just driving me crazy this time. I didn't really have any issues with them before until I did the video, of course, right? Okay, so now I have this second layer all cut and glued, and this makes it go really fast whenever you sit down and you pre-cut and you pre-glue and get all of the pieces glued together that you just need to do the layers with. That's kind of what I found was the most helpful for me to get it done quicker, because like I said, I've made a lot of these and they can be a little time consuming. But I think it would be fun to sit and make with some girlfriends, get together and pick out your craft paper and just make some cute little trees, right? These will be something cute you can put in your daughter's room or your son's room for Halloween that you don't have to worry about them breaking, or maybe something falling and crashing and them getting cut on something because it's just paper and foam, right? So now we're going to layer in between the next row. So we're going to find the spot in between the 2 bottom rows and we're going to press the second row right in between them. And then you're just going to do that throughout the entire thing. So you're just going to go all the way up to the top of your cone by going in between every single one. So you're just going to look at it, you're going to add your glue to it, and then you're going to place it in that little gap. So see the gap? We're going to place this way. You can see it almost makes like a V or the top of an A in between the colors, and that's what you want to see. That allows for the opening, that allows you to see the pattern paper underneath and then the pattern paper on top. But you could certainly make these, like I thought about making one like candy corn, like doing the yellow, the white paper and the orange, but then it didn't go with the like aesthetic that I was going to use for my craft room. So I was like, no, I won't make one of those, but that would be a really cute one to make. You could also make one with like purples and oranges and things like that. I think that would be pretty. That's why I like the fall one that I made, because it has like the teal blues and the bright oranges and a little bit of red and gold. And that one is for actually fall. I'm going to put that on my tray on my dining room table. So yeah, it's going to be so cute. So if you guys do make these, I would love for you to share a picture on the page with us. So if you don't follow us on Facebook, we have a Facebook page. It's not a selling page. Like, we don't like make you buy stuff or anything like that. It's just for you guys to share your projects and for us to share ours, and to let you know like updates if we find out about sales or anything like that. We try to post those. I've been kind of away from that recently, but I want to get back to it now that my kids' school started back up. I have a better schedule that's more consistent for me. We homeschool, so I have to be on top of things. So I do tend to get more done during the school year, which is really weird. You'd think during the summer I would get more done, but no. So I was just counting the bottom there, showing you that there's 8 at the bottom, but then at the top you only may need 4 or 5. So when you're cutting your paper, especially if you don't have a lot of it, I would cut, depending on the line that you're on the row that you're on. So I would say the first 5 rows, you need about 8. And then it goes down to like 2 rows of 7, 2 rows of 5. Then there's like a row of 4 and then a row of 3. So here again, we're just going in between the 2, and we're going to just continue to do that, like I said, all the way around. So if you guys are new to Crafters Support, welcome. We'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. We try to do videos multiple times a week, and once life gets back, we're going to be doing our lives again. I just have to see what Brandy's schedule is, and we can get started back up, because between the both of us, our schedule is super crazy, but we love doing our lives with you guys and making our videos and crafts together. So we'll definitely get back to that once things kind of calm down. But maybe we'll surprise you someday and just jump in and do a live so you guys can see it. But yeah, so like I said, this can be time consuming, so I try not to like bore you guys to death with this, but I did want you to get like the full effect of how you layer them and how you meet the ends together and things like that. So if you guys have any ideas for YouTube videos, definitely let me know. I'm going to be doing the 13 weeks of Halloween, which again is every Saturday. I'll be posting a video that is Halloween related. And during the week, I'm trying to do teaching videos so that you guys can learn how to use your Cricut and how to use Design Space, which I had a great if someone on our Facebook page asked about how to use the what's it called, like the mobile site instead of doing it with a laptop, and it is very different. So I am working on that so that I can put up a video to show you guys how to use it on your iPhones or your Android device that is straight onto the through Design Space is basically what it's for, but it looks different than on the computer. And I know that it's a little bit more intimidating because it's not a bigger screen and you may have trouble finding stuff. So I am working on that so that I can share with you guys how to do that. So now we're just going to keep going up and up and up. And I feel like I'm rambling, but I'm honestly just trying to make sure you guys see the process really well. So sorry about that. So here's our next one, which is I try to get a little bit close up of how we're doing the end. So you may come to a point where you run out of room for a full inch, and that's okay. There's a trick around that. All you're going to do is you're going to take your scissors, your paper snips, whatever you have, and you're going to cut at an angle. So just the top part, you're going to leave the loop alone, and you're just going to cut up at an angle and make like a little house shape that's not pointy but like solid, right? And then you're just going to put glue on it and you're going to fit it right into that spot. And that's super easy, right? So now we're just going to glue it in, and then that makes it fit so that you still can have your, I think that was the 5th piece. And it just at first did not want to go in, so I just had to trim the edges, and now it's in, so no big deal. So the next thing we're going to do is the top layer, and this layer can get a little bit difficult because you're again putting something flat on something that's very small and round. So what you're going to have to do is manipulate the paper again. So once your loops are what do you call it, like folded and pre-glued, you may have to kind of bend the top where the glue is. So you're going to make sure that your design is going the right way, and you're going to stick it in the middle like you normally would. And you're going to have to press a little bit harder up here. So you're going to have to make sure that the glue is holding at the top. And you basically have to do that by just pressing down the edges. So be careful how much glue you use, because if too much gushes out, it's painful. It hurts. Glue is hot. My husband always makes fun of me. He's like, it's literally in the name of what you're using, hot glue. Like, how hard is it to know that it's hot? But he loves me, and he just, just laughs. Okay, so here I'm just bending the paper where I have the glue. So I'm going to bend it, and that'll just manipulate it enough to make it fit better onto the rounded part. So we're going to use hot glue, and we're going to lay it in place. And there are white gaps, which is fine, because we're going to fix that with the streamers that we put on it. And again, we're just going to hold it in. I know, guys, I'm sorry. This does take a little while, but it'll be worth it. So we're just gluing it down. And once it holds, then we can move on to the next one. And we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to take the loop. Once we get there, we're going to take the loop. We're going to bend it where we put the glue. And at the same time, we're making sure we're bending it opposite of the way the design goes. So that way your design is still going in the right direction, but that it's rounded into the cone. And then we're going to hold it till it dries a little bit and holds on its own. And then we're going to do I think it's the last, I think I only have one more from here to do. Maybe two. I think it's just one. Yeah, it's just one. And it fits on perfectly, but we're going to do the exact same thing. We're going to bend it, and then we're going to glue it, and then we're going to put it on. So it's just a huge repetition. Like I said, it takes about an hour to make one of these, but they're so cute. Like they're easy decorations. Like you could put these anywhere. So now that we have that piece down, the next thing we're going to work on is the top. So obviously the top right now is white. We don't want it to be white. I want it to be black. So I'm going to use the streamers the black streamer that I purchased to make a top for it. So I'm just going to quickly clean up my little bit of mess, and we're going to get our streamers out, and we're going to do that to it. So I liked how that turned out. It kind of reminded me on Toy Story, like the original Toy Story, not the new stuff that's out. Or is it the original one? Yeah. The original Toy Story, whenever, what's his name? The boy, his neighbor, like manipulates all the toys and makes them all creepy, that had the little head on top of the like spider legs. That's kind of like what I was thinking whenever I put that on there. I thought it was kind of cute and funny, but maybe not. It could just be morbid. I don't know. I like cute, and I like cute Halloween. Some people like spooky. I think I was talking to Brandy, and they like spooky. I can't do spooky. I like cute Halloween stuff. So now I'm going to put our hot glue all the way around. It will smoke because you're putting something very hot onto styrofoam. So then the piece that I cut was about 7 inches. You'll just have to wrap yours around your cone to make sure you get the right size. And then I'm putting the fold to the bottom. So I folded it in half long ways, and I'm putting the fold to the bottom because that'll give a nice straight edge. It'll look just like more complete and more planned out that way. And then I'm just going to go across the top and trim off all of the extra stuff. And you don't have to do it perfectly because that's going to be covered as well. But I didn't want the extra bulk at the top once I put the little skull on. So we're just going to chop that off. Now that we've done that, sweep all that away, and we're going to get another piece of streamer to make the little arms / legs, whatever you want to call them, the little streamery things that are going to hang down. And that we're going to take a piece of streamer about 7 inches. I think that's what I measured. And we're going to cut it into like strips, but keeping it one entire piece. So how you're going to do that is, oh yeah, first, this is the skull. I'm pretty sure I showed you guys the skull. So we're going to measure out just about how big we think we need. And I just fold mine in half and cut it. So I think I measured, it was like 7 inches. So we're just going, yep, I did. So it was 3.5. I folded it in half, and that gave me 7 inches total. So I'm just cutting it apart. And I am going to be using black streamers in quite a few of the things that we're making in the 13 weeks of Halloween. So if you want to pick one of these up from the Dollar Tree, or actually it's cheaper at Walmart, if you're out and about, definitely pick that up. Okay, so now we're going to fold the opening towards us, and then we're going to fold the opening down, but not touching the loop that we made. Does that make sense? So the part that is like closed off, the part that is the loop, is going to be at the bottom, and we're not going to cut through that. We're just going to cut down to where the tip of the streamer is at. So it's going to be all connected once we're done, like slicing up through. Kind of like how you make paper dolls that are connected. You don't cut all the way through it. And so once you have that, you're going to open it up, and it's going to look something like this. So it's still all together in the center, but the legs or arms, whatever you want to call them, are sticking out along the sides. So now all I have to do is put some hot glue on the styrofoam, and then we'll hot glue that piece down. And that just kind of gives it that little like, what the Jack Skeleton, his like, I don't know, he has that collar thing that kind of hangs, that he has on him. And then we have to cut the base of the skull too. So we're just going to trim a little piece off the bottom without cutting the chin. And this will just help it set flat. Whoa, that flew. I forgot about that happening. But we're going to trim it off, and then we're going to set it right on top. Again, it's going to like smoke because you're putting really high heat on the styrofoam. And that's all there is to it, guys. Doesn't it look cute? Like, imagine all the things you can make, like Christmas ones, Valentine's Day ones, 4th of July ones. I'm just doing this to peel off the extra glue before it completely dries. I'm using my bone folder to just scrape it off so you can't see it anymore. But they turn out so cute. I mean, you could make these for back to school. You can make them for whatever holiday. This is just a fun project to make. Minus burning your fingers. Be smarter than me. Use your little finger mitts. But don't they look so cute? I love how they turn out. I'm really excited to put these and start decorating for Halloween in my office. I've already started in my like living room, but I wanted to start in my office / studio. But I think they turned out really cute. And here's just a another view of the autumn one that I made. And I think that one turned out cute. It's going to look cute for Thanksgiving. I'm definitely going to use that. But tell me if you guys like this craft. If it was something that you made, definitely share a picture with me. And here's the other one I made. Also, I did for this one at the top, instead of wrapping, was I used thinner strips. That's it. Instead of putting the black stuff all the way around it. But here's how it turned out. I love it. I think it turned out so cute. And again, it would work on the black paper as well. You wouldn't see the white through it. Not a big deal to me. But yeah. So thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a great day. Bye.